Yeah, so I want to get on here, and don't be fooled by the title that I'm going to name this. Pretty much as an immigration agenda. Now, what's funny was, I was watching this video that somebody done, and in the video, they actually showed you evidence of the United Nations planning on having uh, certain numbers of immigrants go to different countries. And I was astonished at what I seen. And they planned this way back in 1995. And they wanted Japan, who doesn't believe in immigration at all, they'd much rather fucking build androids and robots to take care of their fucking elderly. They want them to have 553 million immigrants, which would mean they'll end up with a population of 678 million people, which mean that only 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 people will be Japanese. I don't think they're going to go for that. Then in Italy, they want them to take in 120 million immigrants, which means that they would end up with a population of 177 million, which means only 1 in 3 people are Italian. The other two are immigrants. They wouldn't want to go for that, but you still got immigrants going in there, and you see them getting sick of it already. Germany, 188 million immigrants, which means they'll end up with a population of 270 million people, which means that maybe 1 1/4 would be German, the rest would be immigrants. I don't think they want to go through that. The rest of the European Union to take in 700 million. That means the European Union would end up, including Germany and Italy, would end up with 1,214,000,000. But if you added the amounts of 188 plus 120, that means that they would end up with, let's see here, I'm just calculating it, 1,522,000,000 people. So that's 1.5 billion altogether. That's crazy. And Europe's only a small continent, and not every country in Europe at the time was in the European Union, and still ain't. And it's 2019 while I'm recording this. Oh, how insane. Oh, and what's also interesting is with the European Union, which countries out of there would take them all in? Because you see, Western Europe turned it into a fuckhole mess, and them Eastern European countries said nope and built walls around their countries and said nope, not happening, no matter what. We're not having them. We don't want to end up like that. And then you got the United States of America. They wanted them to take in 593 million immigrants, which means that they'd end up with 860 million immigrants. Close to a billion just in the United States. Wow. And I got to say, everybody there would eventually get fed up with that fucking shit, because that means that America would become a lot, and I mean a lot more fucking overcrowded, and it'll get to the point where they'll have to make fucking, because they already got big mega cities and big mega urban regions in America already. That pretty much means that you'll be seeing a lot more of that all spread around the fucking place. It'll get to the point where it'll start to creep on Native American reservations and that, and even them, who have already had their fucking land taken over, and be like, what the fuck, is this happening again? No way. So, when we see blackfellas in America with the ADOS movement talking against immigrants and that, look at the Hispanics, how they're, replacing the blacks. You know what I mean? It's insane. You've also got Hispanics not only replacing what the blacks used to do, you've also got Hispanics now that they don't need blacks anymore for a coalition, now that they've outnumbered them. You've got it in LA where they're holding up the high schools, telling the blackfellas to go back to Africa. The audacity of this human excrement is incredible. Now, they came from another country. Blackfellas had no choice, but this is the kind of garbage they yell out. Insane. No wonder why you got blackfellas in the United States saying they are white supremacists in disguise, even though people claim a lot of them to be mestizo, mixed white and indigenous. They've been brainwashed out of the indigenous part after being conquered with disease. That's the only reason why the Spanish won there, is because of smallpox they brought. But anyway, been brainwashed to attack blacks because white people have been trying to get rid of blackfellas ever since slavery was finished in 1865. You know, you had the Asians as a model minority garbage back in the 1960s. Another way to try and make black people irrelevant. Then you've got African immigrants from Africa and Caribbean immigrants from the Caribbean. When any time they need a black perspective on anything, they just get one of them to go and coon and regurgitate white supremacist talking points. So immigration is sickening. And not even white people like them because they replace white people for doing cheap jobs. Because, you know, if you won't work for $2 or whatever an hour, okay, I'll get somebody else that will. Look at my dad here in Australia back in 1987. $12 an hour was good money, you know. The boss asked him, can you go down to 8? My dad thought about it long and hard. He said, nope. He said, oh, okay. Didn't want to do it, but he went along with it. And then not long after that, the boss came back and said, oh, Greg, I've got to get rid of you. I can get 2 Asians to work half the price. So that's $3 each. So I have to pay half the money and get twice as much work done. Absolutely sickening. You know. And think about what will become of America with 860 million people, was filled to the brim of Latin American mestizos, you know, and all other immigrants from around the world. It'll be incredible, you know. The white people will definitely be a minority then, and I don't even think they'd go for it. So it's incredible, you know. And think about it. Another thing I want you to keep in mind, because I don't want to ramble on what everybody else, you know, has already said. It's already said and all that, and I don't know if I'm going to get my video flagged. But think about it. You know, if you look at it right, nobody views somebody else's culture the way they view their culture. You know, it's subjective, I guess, in that way. But follow me where I'm going with this, because think about it. The way you view your country is not how everybody else would view it. If they're in your country, they're not going to hold it in a high regard the way you do. So why do you think the immigrants, when they turn up and live in your country, they tend to fuck up and rubbish it and try to turn it into something else? Because they don't care about the fact that you're in there. This is how they view it. They view it as, you're the dominant power, we got to work so we can overtake you so we can be the dominant power. That's how these fuckers think, man. You know? And white people are fucking dumb as shit to think that, you know, bringing in other people that don't like you for when you colonize these fuckers, you know, to bring them in. They're enemies of the state. You know, you've got fucking, you know, enemies of the state thinking that they're going to be fucking working for you and, you know, looking after you when you get older. No chance. Look at how much billions of dollars they drain out of every fucking Western country every year. Unloading yous. Because they don't have any welfare system in their fucking country. And you wonder why you get more and more people, poorer people and people struggling from the local populations of these places. Whether they're white, black or indigenous. It's fucking insane. Oh, ridiculous, man. You know, you don't see millions of fucking, you know, Westerners wanting to go to live in a third world or second world fucking dump. You don't have that. You know? It's fucking pathetic. You know, and it's not as if they're trying to, you know, like the Dalai Lama said, get skills, get money, and then go back and build it up. No, they don't. They just want to keep living there. You know? It's sickening, man. So, the way I see it, you know, immigrants can go to fucking hell and, you know, something needs to be done to try and change this shit, you know, and send them back. So, yeah, thanks. I'm out.